absolutely lovely playing. I have to stop you. So it's lovely, Goldie. It really is, because you've really got the sound which you need. That's the hardest thing, isn't it, about or playing any Chopin, but particularly a piece like this, is really getting that marvellous, translucent, quite relaxed sound. And you've got it, my goodness. Now, right at the beginning, when you get this first idea, you sing the four-note motive, but then the difficult thing is doing these chords. Da, 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 very, very difficult, and you've got a marvellous sound. I just wondered, though, as it repeats so often, got to find slightly different ways of maybe repeating it a little bit, you know, just so that you vary it very slightly. And probably what's happening is that in your head you are varying it, but it's not quite coming out. You have to exaggerate a bit more. Let's just pick it up from the top. Okay. Time it happens, you have to work to make that very light, that your quaver is really truly very light. Stop here because it's so nice. Can you tell me, how do you practice those very nasty bits and running bits?
Well, I basically practice the jumps, so sort of getting the fingers in the right place.
Yeah,
quickly.
And how do you get this, you have to have this marvellous sort of touch, you know, quick touch. How do you practice that?
Well, I practice it the exact opposite. I practice it heavily and loudly.
Yeah, well, I would practice it very... If I had to learn a passage like this, the way I would do it is certainly to do it slowly, but not necessarily too heavy. I would sort of have to quite quick, because ultimately, you see, you're going to have to play fast. Let's pick it up, because when you repeat this, it keeps on repeating the same way, and as it repeats, the harmonies get slightly more complicated. And what I want you to do is introduce a little bit more intensity into it. Can we sort of pick it up from here? More intensity here. Yeah, those little harmonic changes, because that's what really makes Chopin so interesting. That's how he can get from A flat and then back again into a sharp key, all this enharmonic thing. And you just have to point it out a little bit more. Don't take it for granted, just because you know what's coming. Assume that the audience doesn't, or whoever's listening. So when you have a harmonic change there, can you just take a little bit more time with it? Can you maybe try and pick it up here? Now here's the interesting chord. Yes. Okay. And there's a diminished chord which is quite a surprise. So don't just play it as though it's any old chord. It's an interesting chord, yeah? That's very good, that passage. So can you lighten off now the passage that's coming? You've played a slightly more kind of warmth. You've introduced quite a lot of warmth now into your playing. And so when you go over the page and it's da-dee-da-ba-ba, just withdraw again, so it's a little lighter. Maybe we can pick it up, perhaps somewhere around here. left-hand bass bits that he introduces, don't throw them away, just point them up a bit. They're almost comical, really. And this lovely da-dee-dee-dee inner part, you should grab onto all these details because otherwise what we're hearing is just the same material repeated, but what makes it special is the little extra touches that he puts in. Perhaps you can pick it up here, da-dee-dee-dee. Sound, but can you surge more? You're tending to do it all loud. This da 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 da. Yeah, you've got to push it out a bit rather than da 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 da, square and heavy. Push the sound out, okay? And then that way you generate more excitement as well without having necessarily to speed up a great deal because you're just pushing the volume a bit. Let's pick it up around here. Push. Da 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 da. Good. Yes. Da 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 da. Soft. Lovely. It's lovely. Right. He's introduced now a lower part with the da-dee-dee-dee-da. Now you must hang on to this lower part because now the tune is in 2. Okay, so you must pay a bit more attention to the underneath. Can you try and bring that out? Let's just try and pick it up from a little bit more. Yes, take special note again of that D natural, which is what makes the harmony interesting. Can you just play me the end now? Let's just jump to the end, which is a bit more what you expect of a scherzo because it suddenly becomes a bit more agitated. So perhaps if you could pick it up maybe around here, that'd be possible. So the last pianist we're going to hear is Stephen, and he's going to play us a piece by Rachmaninoff. It's the Etude Tableau from Opus 39 set in C minor. Right, now, you know the pitch you reached in the last page?
Yes.
That kind of warmth. I want you to start like that and sort of work up even more, because it is allegro agitato, so it's got to have this great surging movement right from the beginning, and it's got to be pushed by what the left hand is doing,
Yes.
these big octaves. And the sort of figuration is following that. What I tend to feel at the moment is that maybe your figuration is dictating the speed and everything, which isn't really the way it should be. Let's just try at the beginning. So really start with a much greater degree of intensity. It's got to be much more solid and Russian, I think. You know, it's a little bit
Without getting too loud.
apologetic.
Yeah, because it's marked piano.
Yeah, but they're also marked as heavy, these things. I mean, I think the piano probably, if this is for your right hand, yeah, but I want to hear a bit more bone to the whole thing. Let's try. Try both hands. Attention much more, because at the beginning, if you were going to play the whole set of these pieces, you've got to grab the audience. You can't just sort of, you know, start off on a very low key way. That's much better, and it's much chunkier. Because Rachmaninoff, even himself, I mean, you know, he had this astonishing technique, but it's kind of serious playing. There's no mucking around. Yes. Let's just try then from your climax up here. Keep it going. Go. Yes. Good. Better. Yes. Yeah. Let's just do it again. That was much better, because I much preferred it when you kept the speed going. It's much more exciting. Obviously, this is some kind of second subject, isn't it? So, and I can't really, for me, you haven't yet made a big enough difference in the sound. It's quite a similar sound you're making, but it's got to be a new sound world that you're creating. And you're right to bring out these inner parts, but I just like the whole thing to be a little bit more still and eerie, I suppose. Just try it once more. Okay, so this scherzo thing, I think perhaps if you could just up the speed slightly and make it a bit more attacking in the right hand, so da da ba ba diddle ba da. It's a bit more violent, maybe. You know, I'm going to bring out the violence in you somehow. find a way of making that rip more convincing. It's a bit like sort of, I'll slow down because it says in the music I've got to slow down, but I'm not quite sure why I'm doing it. What do you want to achieve here in this strange sort of, this pianissimo passage? What do you think the point of it is?
There's a sort of harmonic gloom out of which the theme comes back again.
A harmonic gloom. Right.
It's very indefinite.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't know if you should play it indefinitely. No, I think all is lost once pianists start playing in an indefinite manner, you know, with lots of notes. Let's try and make it so that it's very dry out of here, the Prokofiev bit. And then, like you say, put the pedal down. But I think go for that crescendo and really have a sense of getting to this chord here. So whatever the chord. And it's a matter also of knowing when to get back into the up tempo. This left hand still, can you make it a bit tighter rhythmically? I know you've got a lot to think about in your right hand, but I'd feel happier if it was done ba 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 dee da 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 da. And then when it changes into triplets, that's very exciting. And if you could bring that out more and surge a bit more, because then you know, the listener's a bit displaced because suddenly the meter's changed.
Yeah.
Picking up some of that. Crescendo. One thing, I did a masterclass as the player with George Millett about 10 years ago, and I remember and I played Rachmaninoff to him. In fact, I played the second piano sonata, and he said this thing which really stuck in my mind. Whenever you see a crescendo, what you should immediately do is get softer. And what one tends to do, and you just did it now, which is why I stopped you, is that you see a crescendo and you get loud, and then there's nowhere to go. And especially with a passage like this, look, there's the crescendo. You've got 3 lines of music to reach this, you know, and there's only so much power anybody can have. So if you can remember to just drop right down there. And it also, it kind of makes us a bit more excited as well, because you kind of think, oh, what's going to happen now? So maybe if we can just pick it up. Yes, good. Yeah, that's the effect. That's good. But with the right notes, no, it's very exciting if we can do it like that. Go on, go from the top. Let's just do it once more.
Next week's masterclass, presented in association with Lloyds Bank, will feature the French horn player Michael Thompson.
She certainly wouldn't approve, and that's half the fun.